Welcome, friend. Today, I'm excited to take you on a journey into one of the Bible's most gripping and mysterious stories, the story of what happened when Jesus met a demon. If you've never heard this story before, or if it's something you've only skimmed over, you're in for a fascinating and meaningful experience. This story is much more than a tale of supernatural encounters. It's about power, the power Jesus holds over darkness and evil. But more than that, it's about compassion and hope. It reveals who Jesus really is and what he came to do in this world. You might wonder, why demons? Why would Jesus meet one or more demons? What's the point? These are great questions because for many of us, the spiritual world feels distant or even scary. But the Bible shows us that spiritual realities deeply affect our lives, even if we can't always see them. Demons represent evil forces, things that oppose God and try to bring harm, confusion, and suffering. Jesus' encounters with demons are powerful demonstrations that he is stronger than any darkness. They show his heart to rescue and restore people trapped in pain. As we explore this story together, I want you to feel invited to come as you are, curious and open. We'll look at what happened in detail, understand the people involved, and reflect on what this means for us today. So let's step back in time and place ourselves on the shores of Galilee, just as Jesus was beginning his amazing ministry. Jesus began his ministry around the age of 30, stepping out from his quiet life in Nazareth into the public eye. From the very beginning, people noticed that there was something extraordinary about him. His presence was unlike anything anyone had ever experienced. But Jesus' mission wasn't just to teach or heal God, it was much bigger. He came to confront the spiritual forces that cause pain, suffering, and separation from God. The Bible often talks about an unseen world, a spiritual realm where angels and demons exist. While angels are God's messengers and servants, demons are fallen spirits who rebelled against God and now work to oppose him and harm people. In Jesus' time, people understood that certain illnesses, mental health struggles, and strange behaviors might be caused by these evil spirits. They called it demonic possession. The idea may sound foreign today, but it was a real part of the worldview then. Imagine this spiritual battle as a tug of war for people's hearts and minds. On one side, there was Jesus, bringing light, love, and freedom. On the other side, demons brought fear, torment, and destruction. Unlike the religious leaders of his day, who relied on tradition and laws, Jesus spoke and acted with power that came from God. His miracles were signs that God's kingdom was breaking into the world. When Jesus met people possessed by demons, it was clear to all who saw that he was in charge. The demons themselves recognized Jesus. This recognition is important. It shows that the spiritual forces knew who he was and feared him. The human side of those possessed. The people Jesus met who were demon-possessed weren't just stories or symbols. They were real individuals, often isolated, scared, and suffering deeply. Many had been rejected by family and community. Some lived in caves, tombs, or wilderness, places of loneliness and despair. These people showed us the human cost of spiritual bondage. The demons caused them to act violently, harm themselves, and live broken lives. But Jesus didn't turn away. He came to rescue them. Why this matters to us? You might be wondering, why does this spiritual battle matter to me? Even if you don't believe in demons or possession, this story reminds us all that there is evil and suffering in the world. And it shows that Jesus has the power to confront those things, whether they are seen or unseen. More than that, it invites us to believe that no matter what struggles we face, fear, addiction, despair, or confusion, Jesus meets us with power and compassion. Let's take a quiet moment and imagine the scene. The wind rustles across the Sea of Galilee. Jesus and his disciples have just endured a terrifying storm at sea. One so fierce that the disciples feared for their lives. But Jesus, calm and composed, had stood up and simply rebuked the wind and the waves, and the storm stopped, just like that. His disciples stared at him in awe, asking, "Who is this man that even the wind and waves obey him?" As the boat touched the shore on the other side, in a region called the Gerasenes, they were about to get an answer to that question in the most unexpected way. Sometimes we carry burdens that feel too heavy to name. Internal battles, silent struggles, deep wounds. This story reminds us that there is a healer who sees us, even when we feel forgotten. A restorer who steps into the darkest places to bring peace. And when we've experienced that peace, we don't have to be scholars or saints to make a difference. All we need to do is tell our story, because every story of healing becomes a story of hope for someone else. Reflection. This section of the story shows us something deeply powerful and deeply human. It's not just about demons. It's about pain, isolation, and healing. It's about the love of a Savior who crosses boundaries, physical, cultural, and spiritual, just to reach one hurting soul. It's about the reality that no one is too far gone. No one is too broken. Not even a man possessed by a legion of demons. Jesus came for him, and Jesus comes for us too. Jesus' authority revealed, the power to command demons. By now, you've seen the incredible scene unfold. A man overwhelmed by thousands of tormenting spirits is restored by Jesus in a single encounter. The drama, the tension, the deliverance, it's a story we don't easily forget. But beyond the events themselves lies a powerful truth we need to pause and really understand. Jesus has authority, not just over people, not just in teaching or healing, but over the entire spiritual realm, over darkness, over demons, over the forces of evil, the world behind the curtain. Before we dig deeper, let's talk for a moment about something that often goes unspoken, the reality of the unseen world. The Bible teaches that there's more to life than what we can see, touch, or measure. It reveals a spiritual realm full of beings created by God, both good and evil. Angels, demons, principalities, spiritual forces. Some of these concepts might feel distant or even strange, especially in our modern world. But Jesus never dismissed them. He acknowledged them, and he dealt with them directly. When Jesus encountered people who were tormented by evil spirits, he didn't ignore it. He confronted it, and every time the result was the same. The demons obeyed him. They had to. Why? Because Jesus wasn't just a teacher. He wasn't just a prophet. He was and is the Son of God, the King of Kings, the one through whom all things were created. Demons, for all their terrifying behavior, are still subject to his word. They are not equal opponents. They are defeated enemies. The power in his voice. Think about how Jesus dealt with the legion of demons in the man from the tombs. He didn't shout. He didn't need an elaborate ritual. He didn't engage in a drawn-out struggle. He simply spoke, and they obeyed. That kind of authority is staggering. It tells us something profound about who Jesus is. It also gives us confidence that the forces of evil, no matter how overwhelming they seem, are not in control. Jesus is no match for Jesus. Let's return to the man from the Gerasenes. This man had been completely overtaken by darkness. He was beyond the help of family, society, or medicine. He lived among the dead, tormented by voices no one else could hear. But when he met Jesus, everything changed. That's what divine authority looks like. And here's something beautiful to notice. Jesus wasn't afraid. While others avoided this man, bound him with chains, or left him to suffer alone, Jesus went toward him. Not only that, Jesus asked him his name. He spoke to the person inside the torment. He saw the human being beneath the oppression. This is what Jesus does. He doesn't see us for what has happened to us. He sees us for who we truly are, and he speaks to that person, calling them back to life, dignity, and peace. The authority that brings peace. When we talk about spiritual authority, it can sound intimidating, but Jesus' authority is never used to control or crush people. It's always used to liberate. Jesus used his authority to cast out demons, not for spectacle, not to show off, but to free the man. That man didn't just get a new lease on life. He got his identity back. His mind, his body, his voice, his future. This shows us that Jesus is not only powerful, but good. His power is used for healing, not harm, for restoration, not destruction, fear and awe. Interestingly, the people of the town reacted with fear. When they saw the man sitting calmly, fully dressed, and in his right mind, they were unsettled. Why? Because they couldn't understand it, they couldn't control it. The man they had chained, feared, and given up on was now completely transformed, and the person responsible was a stranger with supernatural power. Sometimes when people encounter the power of God, their first reaction is fear. It's a natural human response to something bigger than ourselves. But there's a difference between fear that draws us closer and fear that drives us away. The townspeople, unfortunately, asked Jesus to leave. They couldn't handle the disruption. They valued comfort over transformation. But the man who had been healed, he clung to Jesus. He wanted to go with him, to follow him, to never be apart from the one who saved him. That kind of response is what Jesus desires, a heart that recognizes not just his power, but his love. What this means for us. So what does all of this mean for our lives today? It means that Jesus has authority over every kind of darkness, spiritual, emotional, relational, or mental. We don't have to be afraid. Evil is real, yes, but it is not greater than Jesus. No matter how deep the pit, how tangled the chains, or how loud the torment, Jesus can set us free. Restoration is possible. Just like the man in the story, we are never beyond hope, never too far gone, never too broken. We are seen. Jesus sees past our suffering, past the masks we wear, past the outward chaos. He sees us, and he calls us by name. Jesus' authority is not just something to admire, it's something to trust. It invites us to surrender what we cannot fix, to bring our pain, our fear, and even our spiritual struggles to the one who commands peace with a word. The mission begins, from the tombs to the town. After Jesus healed the man possessed by demons, the transformation was undeniable. The man, once wild and tormented, was now sitting calmly, clothed, and in his right mind. His dignity was restored and his soul was at peace. Naturally, he wanted to follow Jesus, to stay close to the one who had saved him. But Jesus had a different plan. He told the man, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." This was more than a kind dismissal. It was a mission. Jesus was sending the man back into his own community, not as the broken outcast they once feared, but as a living testimony of God's power and mercy. And that's exactly what the man did. He went throughout the region of the Decapolis, 10 cities, many of them Gentile, telling people his story. No training, no discipleship program. Just his encounter with Jesus, shared honestly and boldly. And the people were amazed. This once tormented man became a missionary long before Jesus sent out his disciples. It was proof that anyone, no matter how shattered, can be used by God to bring hope to others. Section 5. The Greater Story, What It Means for Us Today. This story, Jesus meeting a demon-possessed man, may sound distant from our modern lives. Most of us have never seen anything like it. But the heart of the story is deeply relatable. It's about pain, bondage, and isolation, things we all understand in some form. It's about the power of Jesus to reach into the darkest corners, to break chains we can't break on our own, and to restore what seems lost. It also reminds us that Jesus crosses boundaries to reach hurting people. He didn't stay in comfortable places. He went straight into Gentile territory, into a graveyard, into chaos. No one is too far gone. The man from the tombs wasn't a project. He was a person. Jesus didn't just free him. He gave him back his identity and purpose. Freedom is meant to be shared. When Jesus sets us free, he also sends us out. Our stories, even the painful ones, become tools in the hands of God to heal others. You may never face a demon the way this man did, but maybe you faced depression, addiction, shame, fear, or trauma. Maybe you felt alone in your struggle, like no one understood or could help. If so, this story is for you. It tells you that Jesus sees you, that he has authority over what oppresses you, that he's not afraid of your mess, and that once he sets you free, your life can carry a message of hope to the world. Final words. The story of what happened when Jesus met a demon is not just a supernatural moment, it's a mirror reflecting Jesus' mission to all of us: to seek and save the lost, to restore the broken, to bring peace where there was torment, and to turn the outcasts into messengers of mercy. May we never forget that no matter what darkness we face, Jesus is stronger. And when he steps into our story, everything can change. Amen.
Thank you so much for watching and walking through this powerful story of the Bible. If this touched your heart, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Vibrant Living in Grace. Your support helps us keep sharing these life-changing stories from the Bible. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of hope and truth. Stay blessed.